for an exam and you get a good grade on it, and you feel good about that. There's just an example. And number 5, the final one, is self-actualization, and that is just reaching your full potential. As I mentioned before, they're not one and done. And sometimes circumstances in your life can make you focus on maybe one area more than another. For instance, somebody that was the sole breadwinner in a household, if they were to lose their job, they would be forced to worry about the things like shelter and food more than anything else. So going forward, there's 2 visuals that you may see when you pull up the hierarchy of needs, one being a pyramid. And according to Brigman, who built Maslow's pyramid, Maslow himself did actually not come up with that visualization. It was actually Charles McDermott in the 1960s. And Brigman often had an opinion and argued that instead of a pyramid for the hierarchy of needs, a ladder might even make more sense, because you're working on different needs at the same time. So your hand may be on one rung, and then your other hand, and then your legs, and so forth. And you could be moving up and down that ladder. So when we're looking at the different stages of people's lives, I had to categorize it due to time and shorten it a little bit. I'm looking at the stages of babies through teen years. When you think about a newborn baby, they cannot provide for any of their needs. They pretty much can breathe and soil a diaper. Other than that, they rely on others to care for them, to give them the shelter, give them the food that they need, to give them the love and esteem that they need. And then healthy children tend to grow and want to do things and produce their skills and developments when they're in a healthy environment. Abraham Maslow himself says the observation of children shows that more and more clearly, healthy children enjoy growing and moving forward, gaining new skills, capacities, and powers. And so the next stage we want to look at after becoming an adult is the early childhood or early adulthood years, and even the college years. And with that can come additional stresses. You think about academic demands, and you think about financial concerns and decisions that you need to make about going into the workforce. A study by Personality of Self-Esteem, Happiness, and amongst graduates says that early adulthood is probably the most important phase in an individual's life, and the events and experiences it is characterized by have power and influence over their personality and their behaviors. So there's basically, they have some needs in those stages that are different from the other stages. And when looking, going forward into the workforce, they have a set of standards that they're going to have to get used to, new expectations, and they'll be finding out things about 401ks and HSAs and insurance, and they'll be adulting and having to find their own place to stay and having bills and taxes and whatnot. When you continue into the workforce, more and more companies are finding that there is a need to bring in Maslow's hierarchy of needs because they're finding out that happy employees are more productive, more efficient, they earn better incomes, they're more positive, more optimistic, and they enjoy better health, and they cope better with daily stressors, again, according to the study of self-esteem and happiness amongst graduates. They're finding that if you put in new things like team building, you add in rewards and bonuses, and opportunities for promotion, as well as sick time, short-term disability, that you have happier employees. They're also offering as an incentive of furthering their education, which can go on to allowing them to step out of their comfort zones and do something different. And the last and final stage is the end of life stage. During this time, a lot of the patients will actually revert back to the beginning stages of life, meaning that they rely on others to help maintain their needs or take care of their needs. Some of the needs that they're going to have are going to be food, warmth, shelter, care for elements, safety, sense of belonging, sense of accomplishment, and dignity. It takes a team to work on these patients to help them, a team of doctors and nurses, therapists, clergy, caretakers, family, and the patient to all help to make these needs. In an interview with an experienced hospice nurse, she said one of the needs of the patients is typically wanting to stay at home for their end-of-life care. But when they do that, they have to evaluate, is that really a safe environment for the patient? And so, in conclusion, I just want to remind you that it's important to meet your needs at each stage in life, and that it is not a one and done. Thank you for allowing me to share my research today, and do we have time for questions? Are we out?
Can we see the slides?
Can we see the slides? I wish
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. I wish you could see the slides because they really were pretty. I had a ladder. I had a pyramid. Children playing. So, any other questions?
How would a business implement that?
So when they're doing the rewards prop, the sense of belonging, that would be one. So they would bring in team building activities, maybe even go to a retreat, trying to build up rapport and amongst the employees. Another way, an incentive is if, they didn't miss work, to give them a little bit of incentive, motivation to be there, to be on time, things like that. Another way of building that was in implementing safety, a place where they could go, especially with things like with COVID going on, so there's a place where they could go and visit with somebody and have some additional help.
And if there was some issues presenting.
I'm done presenting, so, but the next person might need your help, so.
The bank wasn't letting her slide.
I couldn't log in, it needed me to verify who I was, and I sent my slides ahead of time, but I didn't know that they were uploaded.
Okay, did you want to do that? What was it? Is happening again?